You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm your host, Kyle Bowers. Each week in this time slot, we take a look at different issues, personalities, and events that affect you and our community. Memphis is known for a variety of things, from music to its history, but one of the more popular attractions is the local restaurants, which not only provide a full stomach, but a feeling of home. Today, we will learn about the different ways these restaurants serve the community. We will talk with the owners and managers of 3 popular eateries and get a glimpse at the preparations of some of their signature dishes. First, I sat down with the owners of Brother Junipers, a local breakfast restaurant with a story different from any other. Mr. and Mrs. Copeland, thank you so much for joining us on our show today.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
I want to start off with the fact some of our viewers may not know. Brother Junipers isn't original to Memphis. It actually started in San Francisco.
The first Brother Juniper started in the Haight-Ashbury area. It was more for the homeless, a place where they could get a cup of coffee and a sandwich. And then at one point, it was part of a religious community, and it grew into 7 across the country. We were in Indianapolis, Portland, Oregon, Boston, and it was part of a religious community. And eventually, in the late 80s, this community changed its function. It joined the Eastern Orthodox Church, and all the Brother Junipers closed, except this one here in Memphis, which was sold to one of our members, and he bought it in the mid-80s, and then I bought it from him in '99. So this is the last Brother Junipers left in the country.
Well, this is a true family-owned restaurant, and anyone who comes in can see that. How many roles does your family play within the restaurant?
Every role there is. No. So we've been working together as a family for 17 years. When we came here, we actually were homeschooling our children. They were 8 and 10 years old. We would homeschool them in the back, and when we got busy, we'd put down the books, we'd put them to work. And so they've been working in the business now with us side by side for 18 years, which is part of the foundation of our restaurant, which is food, family, community, and the church life is a foundation of our business.
How do you maintain a family atmosphere within the restaurant?
I think the way we maintain a family atmosphere is that our concept has always been that you're not coming into a restaurant, but you're coming into our home. And we have certain other standards, dress codes where all the women wear dresses, and we make sure that everyone that works with us is paid well above the average standard, and we've just created a family, that to work here, you have to enter into the Copeland family. And so we don't say you have to be this or that, but we have a certain standard that we set, and if you don't fit into it, it just pushes you out. We don't really have to do it.
Now we have to talk about your bread. Brother Junipers is known for its delicious homemade bread. What is it about your bread that everyone loves?
It's made from scratch. It's made from fresh ingredients, and we bake fresh every day. And we use cooked rice, cooked oats, polenta, wheat bran to make our strong bread. And I think that's what we're known for. And the stew-on bread was part of a custom in Ireland, and it was a bread that was baked at the time of the harvest when the grains were gathered, and each stew-on bread from each family was a little bit different depending on what grains they grew. And the custom was that the bread was brought to the liturgy in the morning for the feast of St. Michael the Archangel, and then afterwards there was a procession, and the strew-on bread, the first loaf that was made by the family, usually the oldest daughter with her mother, was given to the poor. And so we like that idea of giving back, and we like especially the strew-on bread because it was developed for toasting. So we use it as our primary bread for toasting. We also have wheat, and we make a very nice cinnamon raisin bread.
And we make biscuits and all our pastries from scratch. So everything we've done here from the beginning, which makes it family, is that we do everything the old-fashioned way. I think that's been part of the success of Brother Junipers.
Well, Brother Junipers has received national acclaim for its breakfast menu. What do you believe makes your breakfast the best in Memphis, Mrs. Copeland?
I believe it's the fresh ingredients, and we also go for the highest quality in our meats. We don't want to cut corners in that regard. We also use very high quality cheeses and everything. The eggs also, we are very careful about the eggs. Sometimes we have found that the shells have been thin on the eggs, and so it's not quite the quality we want on the eggs. So we really try to go the extra mile and watch what the ingredients are that we're using, and we make sure they're the best. So if we start with the best ingredients, of course, we're going to hopefully have a product that is going to turn out the best. And we always require that whoever's working, you know, that they really put their whole heart into what they're doing, and they love what they're doing. And if they love the food, when people get that food, they know there's love in there too.
Well, Mr. Copeland, despite all the national recognition Brother Junipers has received, you still claim that this is still the best kept secret in Memphis. Why do you believe this is true?
Well, one of the interesting things is all the time there'll be someone that comes in that lives just 2 streets over. They lived there for 10 years, and they'll come in and say, "I can't believe this place is here. I've never eaten here." So we've always said it's, you know, in that way, it's, even though people come from all over the world to eat here, it's still, many Memphians have never even heard of it. Even though on the weekends we're packed, and it could be up to an hour to 2 hours sometimes, to eat here on the weekends.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Copeland, thank you so much for joining us on our show today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Here's a look at the preparation of the San Diegan, one of Brother Junipers' most popular dishes.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Brother Junipers College Inn. What we're about to do today is the San Diegan. First, we'll start off with portobello mushrooms, diced bacon, diced tomatoes, and green onions. What's happening now, we have the ingredients on the grill sauteing. Then we come to the stove. We do a open-faced egg, which we'll let it cook. Meanwhile, while letting the egg cook, we'll be sauteing the ingredients on the grill. It's the fun part. We're just trying to get the egg to come together because this is the base for the San Diego. A little bit of oil on the outside of the skillet to prevent sticking. Want to give it a nice flip so you can get a nice looking color on the egg. Want to let it sit here for a few seconds so you can get the proper cook on the other side. Flip it, touch it, make sure it's not raw. You want to transfer it then to the plate. After that, you base it with sour cream. Our famous home fries, everybody go crazy for. Then we'll remove the ingredients from the grill. We will add shredded cheddar cheese, fat on the top, and there you go, San Diego. All right, nice having you.
Hello and welcome to Cable Quiz. the academic.
Do you know how incredible it is to work at a TV station in high school?
GHS-TV is a student-run television station.
There's so many things you can do here at GHS-TV. You can be in front or behind the camera or both. You have that opportunity. There are no limits.
We have sports and we have news and we have entertainment. So the students here get a well-rounded view of what it's like to be in the TV field.
It's my life. It's what I want to do.
From all of us here at GHS-TV, thanks for starting your morning with us. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm Kyle Bowers. This week we are discussing some of the best eateries in Memphis. We've made our way to Huey's Germantown location. I'm here with co-owner of the restaurant, Samantha Dean, and general manager, Jimmy Lee. Ms. Dean, Mr. Lee, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Huey's was originally founded in 1970 and was intended as a place where people could come and have a good time. Ms. Dean, do you believe this is still true?
Yes, I do. I think that the great thing about Huey's is that all types of people come here. I mean, we have businessmen that come in, we have ball teams that come in, I mean, families. It's just a great place for everyone, really.
Mr. Lee, you were the general manager of the restaurant, so you know it pretty well. How does this location maintain a fun and relaxed atmosphere?
Starting with our founder, Thomas Boggs, taught us at the very beginning, it's the people that are working for you, the ones that are actually going to be meeting the guests and greeting the guests. And we hire the smartest, the brightest, and the best. We hire attitudes more than we hire people with a lot of experience. In fact, most of the crew that I have here today are Germantown high school students, Houston, kids that are in college. 80% of the people working here right now are students.
Well, for 33 years, Huey's has been voted Best Burger by the Memphis Magazine's Readers Poll. Mr. Lee, what is it about the burgers that attracts so much attention?
Probably the way that we cook our burgers. We do it on a flat top grill. We never mash the burgers. They're always all the juices in them when we're cooking them, and plus the Huey secret seasoning. Of course.
Well, Miss Dean, besides the famous food, what are some other things people look for when they come into a Huey's?
I think having fun, you know, just coming in and a relaxed setting. You know, the kids can write on the wall, the graffiti wall. They can do blow the toothpicks up in the ceiling. So I think it's just really a fun place for kids, especially.
Well, you mentioned toothpicks, and that's one of the first things anyone notices when they walk into the restaurant. So can you tell us about how this got started?
Yeah, it got started probably back in the early 80s. We actually had just all of our customers would get a frill pick in their sandwich if they ordered a sandwich, and they would take the frill pick and put it in a straw, and they would blow up to the ceiling, and they would hope that it would stick in that ceiling. And we just ended up having so many on the ceiling that we would end up having to just knock them down with a broom. And so we thought it might be fun, and actually we didn't think of it. A gentleman by the name of Craig Love actually is the one that suggested it. But we thought it would be fun to do like a contest, and our customers would guess how many frill picks were up in the ceiling. And so we do it each location does it at a different time every year. And just recently,
We did ours in May, as a matter of fact, and raised $2,800 for the zoo in the month of May. Just this location alone.
which is really amazing.
Well, Huey strongly believes in giving back to the community, and you mentioned the zoo is one of the organizations that you benefit. What other organizations benefit from this?
It's really, the zoo is the main organization. We actually decided that the zoo was one of Thomas Boggs' favorite charities, and so we felt like the zoo was a great organization.
Are there any other things you do to help give back to the community?
Oh yeah, we give back to, we give back to Church Health Center, the Levitt Shell, Shelby Farms, Overton Park, local schools and churches. We are constantly giving back to the community because we know that the importance of giving back to the community. We know that if you give back to the community, that you will get back, they will give back to you. So that's very, very important to us.
Well, you also support many different schools and even have your own scholarship at the University of Memphis. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so my dad actually graduated from the University of Memphis and was just a true blue fan. I mean, just loved Memphis State at the time. And he thought it would be nice or a great thing to do a Huey scholarship. So he started that back in 2006. And it's been a great thing. I mean, and actually it's really nice for us because we get to help decide who gets the scholarship every year. So we really enjoy being able to do that.
What are some of the different things you look for when you decide who gets the scholarship?
One of the biggest things that we look for is a student that actually has to work, that works at least probably 25 hours. Not so much about how good the grades are, but more or less about, do they give back to the community? Do they work? And can they do a lot of different things as they're in school? That's important to us.
Well, Huey's has been around for nearly 50 years now, and times have definitely changed since then. Mr. Lee, why do you believe it's important to keep some of your traditions?
I think Samantha touched on it a little bit, but I would say if you go into, as much as things change in the world and as crazy as things are, it's nice to be able to go into any of our 9 locations and it's exactly the same. You walk into our location, our oldest location in Midtown, or this is one of our newest locations here, frill picks in the ceiling, you can still write on the graffiti walls, the music is still moderate, you can still listen to the blues and rock and roll, the service is good, the burger's good. Much as things change, sometimes it's nice when things stay the same.
Well, Ms. Dean, Mr. Lee, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Let's head to the kitchen to see how Huey's makes their famous burgers.
We're back in the kitchen at Huey's Germantown. Mike's preparing some of our world famous burgers now. As you can see, we cook everything on a flat top grill. Seasons the burgers on both sides. Before he turns them, you flip them over and turn them again, season them. We also use the char rock grill for some of our specialty burgers, like the Bluff City burger, which they're setting up, getting ready to sell right now. As you were asking outside, one of the things that makes our burgers special, the seasoning, the flat top, the fact that we never mash the burgers. They're always nice and juicy. Come right off the grill, right onto the buns. We toast the buns to order, which also makes them very special. Of course, it gets a little tight back here and hot at the same time. Fortunately, we're a very busy restaurant, so you can see even when we're during the slow times, we've got a lot going on. All the different items have their own seasoning. We use different seasonings on the burgers. Mike's doing a fish right now, which we do a Cajun season on. Our Philly cheesesteak, which is one of the newer items that we just added. Mike's working on that too. That's something we're particularly proud about at this store because we developed it out of this store. We bring the bread in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, use shaved ribeye, and it has its own special seasoning as well. Walking in, I got a Reuben, 2 more, want a kid burger. Got a kid grilled cheese and a cat basket. What he's referring to when he says we have 1 more, that means that there's 1 more burger that they've got to put down on the grill. We don't start cooking burgers until we get an order for them, which is also something that's pretty special about Huey's. Lots of sandwiches too that we do. The Reuben, corned beef, Swiss, marble rye. So we're more than just burgers, and we do heart healthy items as well. So these guys are really starting to get busy.
One of the things that sets us apart from other schools or other productions that are doing this is that our kids are 100% in charge of what they're doing.
We sell the ads, we build the stage, we make the costumes.
Working in this environment, I've learned to appreciate everything that's given to me because not many high schools have programs like this.
When I first started in this program, my first musical was Hairspray. And now, 4 years later, I'm in my last musical, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, and looking back, I think I've progressed a lot.
To see them now as seniors and to see the people that they have become, it's changed me more than I think it's changed them.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. I'm Kyle Bowers. During the show so far, we've explored some of the best places to get a great breakfast or lunch. But there are also many places to satisfy your sweet tooth. I'm here with co-owner of Frost Bake Shop, Christy Cluse. Ms. Cluse, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
You've been in business since about 2004, but you didn't open your first store until 2013. What made you bite the bullet and open up a store?
Well, for a long time, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, who initially started the business, they were working out of their home for a while, making cakes and selling to different restaurants and country clubs and delis. And my husband was helping on the side. He is a restaurant, he worked at Fleming's Prime Steakhouse. And as he was doing that, he was helping his parents on the side. In 2010, they did get their own facility in Bartlett, our baking facility, which is now 5,000 square feet. But at Fleming's, my husband met a potential investor into our business. And so the investor decided to partner with us and give us the money to open our first retail store.
Well, how did you originally get into baking?
Well, it's funny because I am really not the baker. My husband, he is a chef by trade, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law, they've always loved to cook and to bake. And so for me, I'm a former music teacher, and I was just in this business because of my family. But in the same sense, I have grown to love what I do. I've always been a person who serves others, whether it's in teaching or when I was a server in college. You know, I've been in the food industry, and then also being around my husband who is in the food industry. So it has been a really nice life change for me, but I leave all the baking up to my husband because he is the expert on that. I love being a taste tester though, for sure.
Well, you make a little bit of everything, from pies, cheesecakes, cupcakes, but you're mainly known for your delicious cakes. What is it about them that everyone loves?
Well, we think that we've got it going on with the good ratio of cake to frosting. You know, there are some competitors who feel that frosting is everything. But we know that, you know, you have to have a good balance. For me, if I have a slice of cake, I want to eat the whole slice of cake. I don't want to cut half of it off because I don't want to eat all that sugariness. So for me, balance is very important. Also, having a very moist cake is really important. And there was a lot of testing that happened in that 6 years where we were doing wholesale, that we changed the recipe, or Bill and Bill changed the recipe to make sure that it was at its prime moistness. With that, if you can eat the cake without the frosting and it still be delicious, to me that's good cake.
What are some of the different types of cakes you make? Is there a clear favorite?
Yes, strawberry cake is our #1 seller ever since we opened. But when we were doing wholesale, it was our #1. Here in the store, for customs, for weddings, for cupcakes, strawberry wins every single month. Our second most popular flavor is chocolate. Imagine that. But chocolate is also a favorite. One of my favorites that's unique to us is called the Memphis Cream. And Memphis Cream is a banana walnut cake, but then it has peanut butter frosting and chocolate ganache poured on the top. So you're getting banana, peanut butter, and chocolate, and it's delicious. It's really good.
Well, we're here in your Collierville location, which opened up nearly a year ago.
Right.
What made you decide to expand?
We've always been entrepreneurs in the fact of wanting to grow our business and to serve the Memphis community in many different areas. And East Memphis was our first location. We thought that was a great central location for people, but we still hear from time to time people going, oh, I had to drive all the way from Bartlett, which is about 20 minutes. But anyways, we decided to expand to serve different areas of our community. And when I did teach, I taught out here in Collierville. Love the parents, love the family atmosphere. It still has that small town feel to it. So we decided to open here. We look forward to opening another location. It may have a different concept to it, or it may not. But the staple will be cakes for sure, cakes and cookies.
Well, the new location also includes a private room. Why was it important to have this?
With each location, we want to offer something different. We had some people in East Memphis who wanted to have a party while they were there. They would come in and bring balloons and gifts, but we didn't have a huge seating area. We don't there. And it's very crammed for all of our regular customers who come in on a regular basis. And so it was hard to accommodate those party requests. We also teach classes out in Bartlett at our baking facility for adults. And we have a cake decorating class, which is a frostings basics class, as well as a cookie class. And we had some parents who said, well, what about my children? I would love for my children to do a decorating activity. So with having the private room, we do wedding consultations out of there, but we also are opening up to kids decorating birthday parties, tea parties, bridal showers, where people can feel warm and welcomed and have great suites, have their own private room to celebrate their occasions, because that's really what we're about. You were here to celebrate. Celebrate if you had a good day. Celebrate your graduation or your birthday or your wedding. So to be able to accommodate them here in our home is very important to us.
Well, Mrs. Clues, thank you so much for allowing us in your bake shop today.
Thank you.
We got a chance to visit Frost Bake Shop's Bartlett location to see how their popular strawberry cake is made.
Welcome to Frost Bake Shop. I'm Bill Clues. I'm going to show you around today. So if you follow me, you see where we make everything for both of our retail stores and for some of our wholesale customers in the city of Memphis. So we do everything we do is really based around our cakes and cupcakes. Make everything from scratch. We also have a full line of cookies, pies, and cheesecakes. But today you'll see a lot of strawberry cake in different forms, from sheet cakes to 9-inch cakes to larger tiers. Most of the day starts over here with the mixers, where we mix up all the batters and everything. It starts typically about 6 a.m. And getting stuff in the ovens by 7 a.m. And then most of the finisher, everybody that comes in to finish all the cakes, come in around 7 a.m. and get everything going. We're also obviously getting ready for the next day and staying busy all through the day. So we're sifting everything from sifting flour to weighing out milk and eggs and different things like that. Back here is where all the ovens are. And you can see we're getting ready with pans for tomorrow already. And you can also see some of the layers that just came out of the oven. Wonderful strawberry cake. Over on this other side is where we do all of the custom cakes and more of the finishing of stuff. Everything from decorative cookies. See different designs that are not quite finished but in process. Stuff for the holiday, 4th of July coming up. Then we have some of our custom cake decorators. We have 3 or 4 full-time awesome artists that spend the day back here making some really awesome cakes. These cakes could be for anything from birthdays to weddings, lots of wedding cakes we do every week. And then once the cakes of our standard desserts, once they all come out of the oven, they get torted. You can see these are all cut and ready to go. They're filled with strawberry filling. You can see kind of different processes here. They're working on the crumb coat. This is an example of some of the custom stuff. That is all for our tour today of the Frost Baking Facility. Thank you for visiting, and we'll see you soon at East Memphis or our Collierville location.
I'd like to thank all of my guests for being on our show today and for letting us into their kitchens to see how some of the best food in Memphis is made. Be sure to eat local the next time you go out. Not only will you be supporting a local business, you will also be helping the community. I'm Kyle Bowers. From all of us at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.